Okay, welcome back here. We're going to try to factor this trinomial now. I already listed out all the factor possibilities, and like I mentioned previously, it's good to think about both orders of factors of 12 here. You don't really need to list both orders of the first term. As long as you list both orders of the last term, you should be good to list out all the possible pairs here of factors that could work. All right, so notice that this second sign, the sign you always want to look at first, is minus. So that tells you that you will be multiplying for your binomials here you would be needing to multiply a positive by a negative, okay, in order to get a negative last term. All right, so I don't really know what that last term is. It's got to be one of these factor pairs over here, but we'll see here. Okay, so for the first term, it could be x and 3x or 3x and x. You also really don't know here. So before you fill in anything, you should at least you could take a guess and fill it in and then check it and see if it's wrong, but you should at least have a clue which factors will work. All right. Now, unlike this previous one, you can't just simply, add these factors to get to the middle here, okay? Because in this particular one, you now have 3x. So when you're multiplying the outside or the inside, you're going to be multiplying by 3, one of the factors, and the other one by 1, okay? You're really multiplying by 1x and the other factor by 3x, okay? So the way that you want to think about this is first take the factors over here and multiply them by the pairs over here. And now because the signs are different, you're going to be trying to subtract the results to get the middle. All right, so let me walk you through an example here. So I would take 3x times 12, okay, that's 36x. And I would take x times 1, so that's 1x. So I have 36x here and 1x there. If I subtract them, I get 35, and that's not going to be the middle. So I know that's not going to be the factor pair. So you can kind of cross that one off. And then you could try 3 times 6, that's 18, minus x times 2, that's 2x, so 18 minus 2 is 16. That also is not going to be the pair. All right, so take the factor over here, and then multiply it, and then subtract. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, then you have x times 3 is 3, so you have 12 minus 3. That also isn't going to work. All right, and then likewise, you would try with these pairs here. Okay, now you might think, all right, I went through all the pairs and none of them worked. And yeah, actually none of these pairs do work because, okay, let's just try the last one out and put it in, and I'll show you why it doesn't work. Okay, so none of these pairs work on this particular one. So it is possible that things will not factor. Okay, I want you to be aware of that. And in this particular one, nothing factors. Okay, so you might think it's this pair because this is actually the closest you can get here. Let me mix up the terms here. So 3 and then 4. The order you put the terms matters in this particular one because of the multiplication of 3 for the one factor. You see, the inside is 3 times 3x, and the outside is negative 4 times x. Okay, so if you do the outside, that's negative 4x, and the inside, it's 3 times 3, that's 9x. And if you see the signs are different, so that means you'd be subtracting. You combine those, you'll get 5x, but we want to get 4x. The goal is always to make sure you have the middle term correct, and here you don't have the middle term correct, so this is also wrong, and this particular one cannot be factored. Okay, so you won't have any on your homework where you can't factor, but I just want you to be aware that sometimes that happens. All right, so let's look at this next one here. These numbers look pretty big. Before you jump into listing out the factors, you always want to remember, go back here, ask yourself this all-important question: is there a greatest common factor of all 3 terms, or in the trinomial. Okay, now if it was a binomial, you just look at two terms, but here it's a trinomial. So is there any number that divides all of these? And the answer to that is yes, there is a number that divides all that, and that is 5. 5 divides all of these. So what you want to do first is divide each term by 5. Okay, so you put a 5 on the outside, because remember, you're undistributing. You're taking the number that you would multiply and you're bringing it back out. Okay, and you might be wondering why you would do that. Well, you'll see why in the next couple lessons here. All right, so you take the 5 out, and so you would divide 20, x squared divided by 5, you'll have 4x squared left. Then you have negative 25x divided by 5, you'll have negative 5x. And then, remember, you're dividing, so it's not like you have nothing left here. It's 5 divided by 5, you'll have 1 left. All right? And so that's your first step. You want to divide out the GCF first. Okay. Next, you want to list all the factors. Well, there's not too many here. Factors of 4x squared, you can do 1x and 4x. Okay? Or x and 4x. And you could do 2x and 2x. That's it. No other factors are possible for 4x squared. Now, 1, okay, this one has a lot of factors. Not really. So it's just 1 and 1. All right. Now, let's figure out what the signs have to be. Okay, so we look at this sign here, and this sign says that they are the same. Remember, the second sign says they're the same. All right. Now, that could be plus plus, it could be minus minus. Now, you notice this middle sign here in front of the 5x is a minus. So that since that's a minus, that means they're both going to be a minus sign. Okay, so we have two negatives in this particular one. All right. All right. Now, let's see which pair works here. Okay, so once again, let's check. All right, so if we take 4x times 1, that's 4x. And then x times 1 is x. Now, since the signs are both the same, we are going to be adding to get the middle, okay? So same signs, think addition. Different signs, think subtraction. And here we have same signs, so we're going to be adding to get the middle. All right, so we have the 5 out in front. We're going to have 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 1. Oh, it wasn't 2x, was it? Okay, notice if you check this one, outside's negative 2x, inside's negative 2x, that's negative 4x, so that doesn't work. All right, so let's try this again. X minus 1 and 4x minus 1. Okay, now remember, you want to check it. Outside is negative x, inside is negative 4x. That gives you the middle when you add them up. Always check it. Always make sure you get the middle when you do the outside multiplication and the inside multiplication. All right. I call it the rainbow check because you got like the outside of the rainbow and the inside of the rainbow. But of course, you could do it like this, and now it looks like a smiley face check. Okay, I don't know. But make sure you get the middle when you do outside, or you can call it the OI check. Okay, make sure outside, inside equals the middle. Okay, the F and the L will take care of themselves when you list the factors. All right, let me show you a couple more real quick. Maybe just one more. Factor this one correctly. All right, so once again, GCF. Okay, look for the GCF if there is one. So, all right, let's try factors of 3. All right, look, 3 divides 30, 3 divides 27, and 3 divides this number. So I'm going to put 3 here. I'm going to have v squared minus 27 divided by 3 is 9. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So I have minus 10 here. All right. And let's see what we can do further here. All right. So 27 divided by 3 is 9. Factors of 10. All right. So we have, for v, it's just v and v. Factors of 10 would be 1 and 10, 2 and 5. And remember, it's good to list both factor pairs because the order does matter when the signs are different and when also when it's not v and v, okay, when you have a number there. All right. Now, what are the signs on this one going to be? Oh, it's a minus sign here, so it's different. So if you have different signs, one's plus, one's minus. Okay, so let's see which pair works. All right, so remember different signs, think subtraction. Okay, so different, subtract. Okay, so we gotta subtract to get the middle. Well, 10 minus 1 gives me 9, so I know it's got to be 10 and 1. Okay, 5 minus 2 is 3, so that's not going to be it. And remember, okay, since this didn't have any number in front of it, really it's just these factors that give you the middle. Now, if one of these had a number in front of it, then that's where you'd have to multiply and then subtract to give you the middle. All right, remember the signs are 1 plus, 1 minus. Now, you don't know if the minus should be here or the plus should be here, but when it's v and v, it doesn't really matter. You just have to make sure to put the numbers right now so that you have more negatives, so you end up with a negative here. All right, so I'm going to put the smaller number with the plus sign, and the bigger number, remember we picked the factor 1 and 10, so the bigger number here, and then let's check it. Make sure we get negative 9v in the middle, so we have negative 10v for the outside, positive 1v for the middle, and if you add those two together, we get negative 9v, and when I say middle, I meant the inner terms, but we got the right middle number here of the trinomial, negative 9v. All right, so hope that helps you at least get started with this lesson. Now, by Thursday, I would like you guys to try to do these 6 problems here on page 93, or if you don't have your book or don't want to open up your book, then you can just look off the screen and try to factor these 6 expressions here. All of them are factorable. They're all trinomials. There might be one that has a GCF, so don't forget about the GCF, and just either put in a picture on Classroom and attach it to show me that you did your work, or send me an email with a picture in it. I'd rather you put it on Classroom, or you could type up a Google Doc with the answers and put it on Classroom. I just need to see some work that you tried these 6 problems, and then you'll get some homework points. All right, so remember this is actually due Thursday before class, so make sure you get it done, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.